Hey guys, you're watching the EJ Tech Show. I'm Soham and this is my review of the Realme Narzo 50A, the latest affordable smartphone in the Narzo series, starting at just 11,499 rupees for the 4GB RAM, 64GB storage model. But before we begin, do hit that subscribe button if you like this sort of content and give us a thumbs up if you do enjoy the video. The design of the Narzo 50A is my favorite part of the phone. I think it looks really quite funky and modern with this textured back finish and that large blacked out camera module. There's no phone case included in the box, so it's a good thing the back of the phone is pretty resistant to fingerprint smudges and minor scuffs. It's not the slimmest phone, but considering all the hardware it packs, I'd say the 9.6mm thickness and 207 grams weight is justified. The Narzo 50A sports a large 6.5-inch LCD display with an HD Plus resolution of 1600 by 720 pixels. There's 570 nits of peak brightness in direct sunlight, so outdoor viewing is not an issue. The display also looks quite vibrant for an LCD panel, and watching content on this screen is enjoyable. However, I would have liked to see a hole punch cutout for the selfie camera rather than the teardrop notch, which is starting to look a bit outdated. The Narzo 50A sports a triple rear camera setup that includes a 50-megapixel primary sensor, a 2-megapixel macro lens, and a dedicated 2-megapixel black and white portrait lens. The high-resolution primary sensor is definitely the star of the show here and takes nice enough pictures in good lighting conditions. Surprisingly, the 2-megapixel macro camera also manages to take some decent shots, but in some shots there is a visible lack of detail. It's worth noting that the phone gets a dedicated night mode that does its best to reduce grain and boost exposure, but could do with a little more in the detail department. Videos with the Narzo 50A can be shot at up to 1080p resolution at 30 fps. There's decent color reproduction and ample detail on offer. The selfie camera here is an 8-megapixel sensor and it produced good selfies both indoors and outdoors. Skin tones are fairly accurate and the images don't look too soft on the whole. The portrait mode also does well to isolate the subject from the background. The Narzo 50A packs in a Helio G85 chipset under the hood, which does offer good enough performance at this price point. Even with just 4GB RAM, there's no major lag in day-to-day tasks and the phone gets through multitasking just fine, although you may have to pin a few apps if you have a habit of keeping a lot of them open in the background. Gaming on heavy titles like COD Mobile is quite enjoyable as well, with little to no dropped frames or stutters, at least not on medium graphic settings, which is the highest available on the Narzo 50A. I will say this though, I feel a 90Hz refresh rate or a faster touch response rate from the screen would have added smoothness to the user experience. Still, there is at least a 3.5mm headphone jack, a USB Type-C port, and a full-size SIM tray with micro SD card expansion, which is good to see. Plus, the fingerprint scanner on the back gave me no failed inputs throughout my usage, but it was placed quite high, and people with smaller hands may have to shuffle the phone to reach the sensor. The Narzo 50A runs on Android 11 out of the box with Realme UI 2.0 on top. While there is a fair bit of bloatware and pre-installed apps here, Realme UI also comes with quite a lot of productivity features like the assistive ball, smart sidebar, and screen-off gestures. The phone also gets a massive 6000 mAh battery, which should easily get you more than a day's battery life, even with very heavy usage. With 18-watt charging speeds and an 18-watt charging adapter in the box, it's not the quickest we've seen from Realme, and due to the large battery size, the Narzo 50A takes over 2.5 hours to charge from 0 to full. Overall, the Realme Narzo 50A is a pretty well-rounded package as a daily driver. While it could use a bit of a boost in the display and RAM department, it's more than capable of handling day-to-day tasks. Moreover, with a price tag of just 11,499 rupees for the 64GB storage model, you do get quite a lot of value for your money.